Go.
Hi, I'm Kylie, and this is my presentation of learning. Okay, so this is a story about my mysterious superhero and how she was able to help me overcome these problems and challenges and villains that I've had throughout MPX and this year. She is the person to stay in the back of the room, the one to hide in the shadows. She's the one who doesn't like to come out, but yet when I need her, she's always there for me. So I think that this is the perfect opportunity to let everyone know who she is. Okay. For food preparation and cooking skills, this isn't really a skill that I'll use like right now, but it's more of a skill that I'll use in the future when it comes down to it. But right now, after going through the KCC boot camp and stuff, I'm able to like help my grandma out in the kitchen when she needs help cooking, or I can see myself in the future when I'm like off in college or living by myself and I need to eat healthy food instead of like McDonald's every day. And then so now I can like cook for myself and I won't have to worry about being unhealthy. Before this, I was not very good at cooking. I was probably the person to be able to burn water, and it would kind of showed-ish. But now, after cooking, like at least I can cook chicken all the way through and not have to worry about salmonella poisoning. And but some of the challenges that I faced through this project was when it came down to plating or something. I was kind of messy, and I didn't really care too much about what was happening or like where it ended up. It just was like, okay, slap on the food and then go, you know? So when it came down to the final, that's when I had to help Kendall cook because she had her arm, or Kendall plate because she had her arm. So it's like the last minute skill you learn when you're like, okay, I have to really get in the game and I have to like watch what I'm doing or else, you know, it'll affect our points. So that's one thing that I had to learn. And then my hero, through this project, since I wasn't good at cooking, I didn't like cooking, but my hero was able to help me find a way to make it a fun experience and turn like a bad situation to a good one. Okay. So for self-motivation, I chose the Codename Verity project, and I have to admit, throughout the whole year, this is probably like my least favorite, and I just really disliked this project, but I had to stick through it and get it done. So what this project helped me learn is self-motivation and how to just like stick through something and get it done, but at the same time, get it done well and not just fast and messy and bad. So what I ended up doing was we tried to make it a little bit more creative. So like some people were doing like puppets or some people were doing movies, but we chose to do kind of like a whiteboard project except with puppets on top of the whiteboard. So we'd use the whiteboard to like draw the background, and then we'd have a puppet and we'd do a stop motion. So we'd do picture and then move it like the tiniest bit and then picture. So in the end I think we had like 2,000 photos. And through this, we were able to make a really good presentation, and Miss Calibro really enjoyed it, and so we ended up getting a very good grade on this project. So my partner was Cami. And sticking through this project was really hard for me because the whole way through, I absolutely hated this, or okay, hate is a strong word. I absolutely disliked this project because I thought it just wasn't fun and it didn't interest me, but it might have interested some other people. So that was the problem, but my hero kind of like encouraged me to just like, you know, continue on, get through it, and it'll all be worth it in the end. And so that's what happened. Okay, good communication and good leadership skills. So during this project, we each had jobs, and my job was like the group leader, kind of managed contractor person, and that means I was kind of like in charge of the group and kind of in charge of planning out what we were doing throughout the whole year. But what was hard was I've never been a leader before, so I didn't know how to be a leader. So in the very beginning, I was really bossy and not very nice, I guess. And so maybe throughout half the year, I finally started to learn that, like, okay, maybe instead of telling them, you have to ask them. And, half the year, that's when I realized that there was a really thin and fine line between being bossy and being a good leader. And so I tried to be nice and suggest things, but then I realized that my group didn't do some of the work that I suggested. So it was a challenge for me to find a balance in between getting the job done and pushing my group in the right direction, or being their friends and not getting it done because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. So some things that I need to improve on, especially for this, is even though now I am able, I think in the end we all ended up being pretty good together as a group, and we ended up having a pretty good job, and we ended up doing a pretty good job at group work. I still feel like I myself have to be more patient with my group, and kind of like, to me, I feel like sometimes if I say it and somebody doesn't understand, I'm like, well, why don't you understand this? It should be easy, but I realize that not everybody gets that, so I need to be more patient. Okay, creativity. So for this, I chose all of the infographics that we did in this methods class. And so the top infographics are the ones that I did in the beginning of the year. And you can see how like this one has a lot of words in it and like 5 pictures. And then this one's kind of getting better, like it's kind of more of a diagram kind of thing. But it's not very organized. And so what I learned how to do is to display information in a creative way while still being able to show the information and get it out there without overpowering. So that was my final, the high blood pressure one was my final infographic that I just finished. And it was a lot of things that we needed to show, like we needed to show 10 facts, and we needed to interview someone, and we needed to show the causes, the treatments, the effects it has on you. We had to show and I think for the amount of information that I had to display, I think that for my high blood pressure, it's pretty organized and it doesn't look too overpowering compared to like when I first did it. I think I didn't have enough room on the page to make it because it was just too much information, so I had to cut down on the more less interesting and less important and focus more on like what's important and what's the basic knowledge of what you need to know. And then my problem was with infographics, I'm not a very creative person, so what happens is like I think, okay, I'll do this. And then I was like, no, but that looks really bad. So I tried to do something else, and we have a certain time limit or a time extension that we have to do it by. So maybe halfway through I finally come up with something that I like, and then I have less time to finish it. So, but I think in the end, I was able to better manage myself in time and figure out something that shows creativity and information at the same time.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, my work ethic is a really important thing to me because in last year, I'm the person who likes math and science and not English and history and stuff. So I hate writing and I hate grammar, and it just makes me really mad when I have to do it. So last year I didn't want to do it, so I didn't, and I would get like C's and D's in English. But now, like with work ethic and learning how to do it, I'm getting like A's in her class now. And another thing is I would try to do like the most minimum while getting the good grade. so now I over exceed the maximum, or I over exceed the minimum. So for a blog post, it's 350 words, but I'm writing blog posts from 500 words to 800 words, and sometimes even more. And that's like one of my blog posts is tons of words. And then another thing with work ethic is notes. I learned that from Mr. Kaneko, I learned that notes is something you can to write down, but instead of just like using words, you can also use pictures and diagrams and stuff. And I would never do that before. I would only use words, and then so it'd take longer to describe what the picture is, and then to just like draw a picture, you know. And another thing is I'm a procrastinator and I'm lazy, and so my problem was I would wait till the end to do it, and then I'd have to like rush to do everything all at once. So now I kind of like pace myself, so time management, I guess, and I get it done on a timely order. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so who is my superhero? Okay, she is me. She is my past, she is my future. And sometimes when I like myself enough, she's my present. She's the person that I strive to be. So when I'm 5 and I'm that angel child, and I want to be the angel child again, I strive to be the angel child. Or in the future, when I see myself as a successful businesswoman, she's the person that I strive to be. And she's basically my mind, I guess. Okay, thank you.
Questions, comments?
Do I just like leave this here?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm interested in the realization you made about team dynamics. Someone who works for the team all the time. Did you ask, at any point, did you ask for feedback from your team to know where that line is between asking and telling?
No, because they would just tell me anyway. They'd be like, Kailee, stop being so bossy. I'd be like, oh, okay. So, I mean, and I think my group is a good group for me because instead of like me asking, because I'm a really prideful person, so I don't want to ask, like, what do I need to do better? They just kind of tell me.
And you think that gives you all the information that you need?
I don't think that gives me all the information I need, but I think that gives me most of the information that I need to get through what we have to get through. Yeah.
It's very task specific, right?
Yeah.
Job specific.
I think your parents would disagree that when you said cooking is something you use later. I think they'd want you to do it now. Any other questions, guys? Thank you, Kailee. Good job.